Well, hello once again, my friends. Good old Uncle Guido here. Coming back at you with some more stuff. Kind of getting back to basics. As we started out this mission, I was endeavoring to help raise your vibration, to harmonize the hemispheres of your mind, empowering the long dormant intuitive right side of the brain, the creative aspect, with the logical thinking right side of the left side of the brain. Get that back. I gotta get them straight here. Anyway, today we're going to go into a little numerology pertinent to the goings on of the day, and we're going to try and look at some things to help get you back into a space of consciousness in which you can move out of the fear ensconced reality that has been thrust upon the world through the COVID-19 and get to a space of a higher spiritual understanding and perception of the changes that need to happen first and foremost. And we've known these changes. We know we've been running on borrowed time for quite some time, since the 60s, right? We knew Aquarius was coming. We knew the robber baron era had done its best and worst and long played out a long time ago. And we knew that changes needed to happen. We knew we were consuming at an ever greater rate, but that's what we were told to do. That's the game, you know. So when we get to a certain point of acquiring all the toys and the tools and doing all the little things and memorizing the quizzes and jumping through the hoops of society and achieving the accolades and the successes and the failures, yeah, other side of the coin's always there, right? We're in this realm of duality. Here we are. We've got to bring it all together and experience both sides of the same energy. Hot and cold, same thing. Different polarities. You knew that. This is easy stuff. But once we get to a certain stage, the desire to be searching for answers out there in the world just falls flat. You know, even religions and great teachers like the Buddha or Jesus can only take you so far, and then if they're a true teacher, they set you up to take that next step for yourself. As Jesus said to his disciples, "These things I do, you shall do and more." And so this is where we're at. For a year or more of my YouTube little dalliances into spreading my message, my truth, my wacky theories, you know, all of it's in there. Old Uncle Guido's a mixed bag of stuff. But what my original goal was to help you raise your own vibration, to expand your aura. Jesus also said, when asked by his disciples, "What is God?" Jesus said, "God is love." So I'm a student of the Course of Miracles, and in that book they say there is nothing else but love. So how do we balance that? How do we justify that when we look at our world and what a mess it is with COVID-19 shutting everything down, changing things? You know, the fabric of society is unweaving right before our eyes. Oh God, what's it going to be? Will we ever get back to normal? Or is this new normal something we just have to swallow and take without any say in the process? I say no, 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 no. You always have a say, and you always have choices. And this is a big energy behind the COVID. In a minute here, we're going to whip out the numerology on good old COVID-19 and see what that's about. And we'll get some glimmers for the future. Now, I've been saying this. This election time is going to be funky cold Medina. It's going to be a battle. We're this far from civil war between one another because we've been trained to pick a team. I'm right, you're left. And point fingers. Whenever you point a finger, 3 more are pointing back at you. See? Look. Oh, there's 3 pointing back at me. Anyway, you know me. I wonder. I wanted to start with a little reading from the book, Numerology, The Lost Keys of Creation by yours truly. And available at Amazon any year now. Who knows how long this is going to take. But what we're getting from the media and the news cycles where we're hungry for the truth. So we're listening to this, and I choose NPR. That's the one I listen to. They're the most reliable. Oh, and this friend of mine over here goes, I like Fox because, you know, I kind of lean towards these non-abortion things and smaller government, even though there is no such thing as smaller government. Both sides spend like drunken soldiers on leave, you know, in Taiwan. And where's the little girl? Anyway, so they're bombing you with fear. They're bombing you with fear. They're bombing you with fear. And what that does is it takes your expanding, evolving vibration, which is constantly moving out and growing, or trying to, and it atrophies it. It goes, and it makes it spin inward, and I'm afraid, and I can't move, and adrenaline starts pumping, and my organs don't work so well, and I actually open up through dis-ease of the mind to physical dis-eases. Now, I'm going to read you something here from the book. You cannot be in fear and communion with God at the same time. It's impossible. The grace and forgiveness of God that are in direct proportion to your own ability to love and forgive yourself, to love and forgive others who you have mistakenly thought to have injured you along the way. Those lefties, those righties. They too are playing a role, a part in a fictional script that you wrote and gave to them to play in front of you to learn some form of lesson about yourself. Nothing real can ever be harmed. And let me tell you something. This world that we are in, this heavy, densified world, is Maya, as the Buddha called it. It is an illusion. It is very consequential and heavy and polarized so that you can see the extremes of pleasure and pain, of joy and sorrow. All these things are all rolled up. And as we expand our consciousness, we lift out of the duality and we begin to see the validity of both sides of the coin, and how you must experience both. You must taste both sides to get the full experience. Anyway, nothing real can ever be harmed, and nothing unreal exists. But we get all tangled up under this veil that drops over us when we're born of forgetfulness. We don't remember anything. We don't remember our grandeur, which is our higher self that is 10 cajillion times bigger than this little portion of essence that we stuff into these meat bags called humans and say, go to Earth and learn the hard way, Uncle Guido, doink, doink, doink. Anyway, we get all tangled up under the veil, and we forget the divinity of all things and all people. That's right. The essence of God is omnipresent, omnipotent, and omnipowerful. It's everywhere. It animates every particle of light, wave of light. I don't know what it is. Do you? There's theories. It animates every tree, every bird, every piece of furniture. It's here within us, and there's an intelligence behind every spinning atom and every tiny quark and every little thing that is even smaller than that, as we look into our fractally generated, Fibonacci spiralized, holographic Maya of reality. We only perceive a tiny bandwidth of this incredibly large field of vibration. We see this tiny little thing in the whole spectrum. When we work with numerology, astrology, and tarot, when we work on our spiritual tan through tarot, astrology, numerology, that bandwidth begins to open. We begin to see auras first thing. We begin to have knowingnesses. We begin to communicate back with nature. And that's one of the big things that we've lost. We've lost touch with nature. And by golly, there are forces out there trying to bring you in to this mechanized little playground and divert your attention deeper into the materiality and away from nature so that it can subjugate you with these gadgets. Oh yes, I'm using one of these gadgets right now to communicate with you. But the best thing you could ever do is take your shoes off. Go outside. Be in nature. Be quiet. Go within. When you go within, all knowledge can be presented to you. But it'll come to you in impressions and feelings, and it won't necessarily come to you through language, like somebody's telling you what's going on in your ear. It's more like a feeling, like an ah, like an ooh, like the primordial language that we have lost, that was taken away from us, so that we can go deeper into the physicality, the materiality, and learn these lessons of separation from our source. Our evolution as a species on this planet is at a very precarious point in which we are required to evolve or be phased out. This evolution will primarily be played out in our consciousness, in our ability to raise our vibration and perceive a wider bandwidth of the physical and non-physical reality that we swim in. To lift ourselves or ascend to a higher vibratory realm that some have deemed the fourth or fifth dimension. Now, I'd like to expand on that. Fourth dimension is where you go in your dream time. It's kind of a boundary line between this hard physical reality, and the fifth dimension is a similar reality in which your mind has greater capabilities. And through these tools, we expand. And as Jesus said, these things I do, you shall do and more. So through numerology and the master numbers like 11, 22, 33, Jesus anchored certain ideas. How to be one with God is the 11. Once you balance everything out, once you pay all the bills, and we're in that phase right now. We're paying bills right now. The rent has come due on this mess that we've been living under, and now it's time to write the check, cough up the dough here, or else it's time to go. So, I'm drifting. I'm just going to leave that there. What I want to look at is giving you an idea into how, through numerology, we can look into a vibration. Everything is vibration. So when I'm speaking, the little vibrations, whoa, 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 and they're bouncing off your ears, and you've got definitions all up in there tucked away, so you understand, I hope, what I'm saying. I know a lot of you are going, a tinfoil hat wearing Terry, Uncle Guido, he sure goes off on these crazy tangents, but some of you get it, and I'm not always 100% right. These ideas that I give to you, I want you to take and on and add your own steps afterwards to see what I may have missed, what you can relay back to me, and expand even my ever-growing pursuit of wisdom and knowledge in the school of life on which you accompany me as my brethren. I don't define you with reds or blues. I define you as my opportunity to choose to love and to be of service to you. And as I'm always saying, if you can't leave the place better, what's the point? You know? So here we go. I'm going to hop up here, redirect the camera as I always do because I'm the cameraman, and we're going to look at some stuff I got out here for you, okay? So just hang on, bear with me. Old Uncle Guido's not as spry as he used to be here. Here we are down at the table. Let's zoom out a little bit. Let's zoom in a little bit. Now, do you see that? We got a little deedly-doo that says COVID-19. And as the beginning lessons in numerology point out, every letter can be equated to a vibration, 1 through 9, as we count on our 10 little hands, with 0 being a very special, magical kind of thing. So what we have here, I'll bring it a little closer. This is how I look at the formulas for a word and its vibration and its deeper esoteric meanings. Okay? This is the COVID-19. And, you know, there's all sorts of things here. But C being the third letter of the alphabet is a 3. 6 is the 0 is the O is the 6th letter. V is the 22nd. And all the double numbers, 11, 22, 33, 44, so on, are always notated and kept in esoteric numerology, kept special, so we know that we're going through a master lesson here. I is the 9, D is the 4. So each one of these little numbers gives us a lesson here. Now the underlying force here is the yin qualities, and these are more felt qualities. And 6 plus 9 is a 15. 15, 6, we can relate back to our tarot cards, is the devil. But the devil is also the higher octave of the 6. 1 plus 5 is 6. So we're in this duality of male and female, dark and light, see? And we have to look at the question, how do we get back to this pure 6 and away from this scary old devil? And it gets to asking yourself, how is the pursuits and ideas and the choices that you make serving you? Is it serving your greed? Is it serving your lust? Is it serving you in a proper manner? Or is it serving something a little funkier and darker that you need to go down in that rabbit hole and experience until you can pop back out in the light and embrace both the polarities of this energy, the light and the dark, the male and the female, and become your higher self, or closer to your higher self. So there are some nefarious things that we can attribute to this COVID-19. It wants to subjugate. It wants to put you in chains. It wants to put you in fear. It wants to hold you away from your own freedom and to follow the new rules. Now remember, right here, I wrote down the universal year, 2020, which is a 40-4. 4 is the number of the emperor. So somebody is trying to take control, trying to claim their power, trying to use COVID as a tool of usurping your power and giving it to the devil. Dare we go there? Is that the one at the base root of all this? I'll have to see. Back to numerology. When we look at the other letters up above I have here, so the vowels go below, the consonants go above. We have a 3, a 22, and a 4, which equals a 29, 11, 2. 11, 2 is, in the tarot, the card of justice. And this is the card of karma, of looking at your choices and being able to come clean consciously with what the ramifications of those choices are. And I do believe that nobody's been looking at their choices. They've just been accepting the status quo for hundreds of years in this male-dominated paradigm. And we have to look beyond the duality. So an 11, 1 plus 1 is 2, boils down to the high priestess here. Now look at how those figures are very similar here. So justice is upon us. The 11 is upon us. How do we heal our karma? How do we look at our choices and get the big aha? How do we see the truth of death and life and the consequences of our choices? And as I was just saying, I do believe we've been ignoring the consequences of our choices. So everything has come to this nexus point of change. It's like everything's right there in your face. You know, the material world is breaking down, which is the first to go very easily. Man's been banging on the natural world and depleting it in so many different ways, and we've all been turning a blind eye to that. So here it is. Here it is. It is upon us, and it's time to bring balance and change and to make some new choices. And once we go within to our heart center, which is the high priestess, and trust our intuition, we've known for a while these changes need to be made. How do we do that? We don't rely on emperors to tell us how to do it. They've got a plan, by God. That plan involves an awful lot of death, too. So we have to go within, we have to unite with our higher self. We have to take this old boogeyman devil and turn it into a place of releasing. And going back to the other most recent readings, you have to let go. We just have to let go of the status quo and vibrate to a new and higher way. That's why we're looking at all these things like the same old story of racism and the same old story of have and have-nots. How many thousands of years we got to go over this, people? It's here. It's time. Things are going to change, and it's up in the air due to free will, whether or not the emperor is going to continue to rule through these sort of things, or if we're going to pop out in a whole new way. Now, when we combine the two numbers, 29 plus 15, we get a 44-8. See? So the word COVID resonates, its male and female particles resonate at a 44-8. So that's like a double emperor and an 8. This is a very, very powerful lesson, and the lesson is always about claiming your own power. This is what every reading that I've done about the COVID has come up and said. It's time to let go of the male-dominated paradigm and get back in touch with the female-dominated paradigm. This is why we're so confused about our male-female identities. We know that the male has been out of balance so long, but we don't know how to honor the feminine and to tame the beasts. So it gets all funkied out here with the old devil and says, oh, try anything goes, you're a rainbow, you're a unicorn, whatever. But the whole thing of COVID is to remember your infinite connection. See the lemniscate there? That's the symbol of infinity. To nature, to God, to this reality. And to take a gentle approach. This is not about war. This is not about invasion. This is not about burning and looting because you're not getting your way. This is about coming together in new ways and forgetting that this person across from me might be red or blue, but saying this person is an aspect of God just as I am. And we can come together and find ways to lend our compassion, our healing, our sharing, our giving, the more feminine attributes, to healing this ourselves, our planet, our universe. Okay? So 44-8 plus the number 19. Now 19 in numerology is the number of destiny. And so this COVID label, COVID-19, it couldn't be avoided. It's a master lesson, and it's our destiny to go through that. And right now, if we looked at the astrological ramifications around what's going on with Pluto and Saturn and Jupiter, oh boy, is this big. This is as big as the Civil War. And we are really, really close to reenacting a civil war. Instead of north versus south, it'll be right versus left. Think about that. How ridiculous is it? If we don't get that lesson, will it be up versus down? Will it be hot versus cold? It's just ridiculous. Anyway, so you add the 19. This is our destiny. And always with destiny, there is the opportunity to get it and to emerge and to be born again. This is a card of being born again, to becoming innocent again. But that's going to take a lot of doing. When you add 44 and 19, the ultimate lesson of the COVID-19 vibration is a 639. That is very, very interesting. So we have the 6, lovers, 3, and 9, the hermit. And Nikola Tesla said if you could understand the 369, just a little juxtaposition of order there, if you could understand the 369, you'd have the keys to the universe. So there really, really is always a silver lining in anything that God puts on our plate. God never closes a window without opening a door, or however that saying goes. And remember, if you can't see the God in all, then you can't see God at all. And so this is what happens when this devil and these emperors get together and they start wielding death and fear our way. You know, they just they turn things around. So you think you've got it. You think you're watching the right station for where you base your beliefs. You think you're in league with the right thinking kind of people, and all we have to do is go and wipe out all those that don't think like us, and everything will be hunky dory. Well, I'm sorry, but that's not very loving, is it? So, what this 639 means is that somebody has created this, and somebody has a plan, and they think if it goes through, everything's going to be fine. But they're just slightly off. What it really means in this 9 is we must look at the hermit looking to this direction. This direction in Tarot is always the past. If he is looking this way, he's looking to the future. We need to look to the past to fully understand the choices we've made along the way, so that we can bring the illuminating light and move in a new direction. We're getting ready to graduate to a new level. And that new level hasn't been fully decided yet. Is that new level going to be ruled by more emperors and more of this darkness and fear? Or are we going to be able to come out in the light and rejuvenate ourselves and build a whole new way of doing things? And the nice thing about the Destiny card here is it's tied to nature, people. It's definitely tied to nature. There is no, you know, technology is great, but there is no getting away that you are a child of this nature. And because we have been dumbed down and we've created languages and all of these things to distract us from our connection to nature, we have this whole new set of the way things are, and it's institutionalized and taught to our children and memorized, and you play the game and you win the goodies, and that's the formula for your success and health. Okay. Now I have all sorts of other little numbers here, and so I looked at the word coronavirus, and again it picks up aspects of the 11, and again it picks up the aspect of the 13-4, which is death. And of course, the big old fear thing there, death, is right at the heart of this coronavirus. So, when we look at the day this was brought out to the world, which was November 17th, 2019, that's why the 19 is there. That's the birth date of the COVID-19 virus. That is a 67-13-4. Death is the number of the 13-4. So we can put these little emperors and these little death cards together. That is what it came to teach through. This is how you're going to learn your lessons, through authority and through death. And unless you can take your own authority and be gentle and loving, you just might go down any number of these scary, scary things here. But that's okay if that's what you consciously or unconsciously choose to learn your lessons through. That's fine and dandy. You're gonna learn. It may take thousands of lifetimes, but you're gonna learn. The nice thing about this age is we have the ability to get the lessons and truly free ourselves from the wheel of karma, of having to be mandated to come back over and over again to learn these lessons. Okay? Now, one thing I want to show you that I found very interesting that is in the COVID, when we look at the vibration for love, let me shut that off. Uncle Guido's busy. Anyway, love has some similar vibrations running around it. Basically, on the soul level, it's an 11-2. So, again, it boils back to your choices. Now, the interesting thing about love, it's a very spiritual. When we look at its personality, it's got that 22 in the same place and the 3 in the same place, but it doesn't have that 4 like COVID does. So it's only a 25-7. It's 4 less than the COVID. And this is about looking at everything through spiritual eyes, bringing higher mind into the meditative process of going within to decipher your world and being one with God, being one with Spirit. Being Spirit manifest in the physical world. And then the combination of 11 plus 25 is the 369. And this was what Nikola Tesla and Jesus were both talking about. If we look at the proper steps, 3, 6, 9, they're little aggregates of the same vibration. And 3 is about loving, creativity, nurturing. 6 is about relationships and service. And 9 is about the wisdom and going through and sharing what you've gleaned with others. All of these are sharing, caring, nurturing numbers. Okay? And if we can get back to this and get beyond the finger pointing and the team playing and all of that sort of stuff, we're going to be able to face this challenge, these changes that are upon us. We're going to be able to let go of what needs to be let go of. We're going to have the strength to go within and find out what we're really made of, and do the heavy lifting, do the hard work. It's not going to be easy, people. We've had it too easy for too long, and now it's time to go within, link with your higher self, ask for direction, and be of service to make the place better than you found it. Real simple. Once we start doing these things, we just step right up to old Mr. Fear. We step up to old Mr. Death. We step up to these emperors that are out of control. And we all know the one sitting on the throne now and the other one that wants to take the throne ain't no different. Trust me on this. They're both playing for the same puppet master right there. And death is their tool right now. And fear is the tool. So you need to look that right in the eye and say, I am one with the universe. I am one with God. I am one with Allah. I am one with whatever that higher self-image for you is. And get ready to go to work with that. Okay, I asked for a blessing on this reading today. And it wanted me to emphasize the choices thing. Now this is tied to both these cards. What are my choices? I could go this way, I could go that way, I could go left, I could go right. So we've been waiting far too long to make these choices, and we've let the powers that be make the choices for us. So it's time to shit or get off the pot, people. Uncle Guido here. You think that toilet paper shortage was an accident? No, it was planned. It's time to shit or get off the pot. And if you ain't got no toilet paper, how do you get off the pot, huh? Well, Uncle Guido's got those number 5 rocks for sale. Anyway, I used the Voyager deck to throw another blessing. What the heck does that mean? Ooh, what a bunch of Kazari. Here is the Rider-Waite equivalent. And this is a tough lesson. But if that chick just rubbed up and down on the sword she's tied to, she'd be free. And so what this means is that you've learned what you've learned so well that it dominates your reality. You can't think beyond the way you think. It's very hard to learn something new. You are trapped and imprisoned by your own mind. And by golly, it's time to create in a new way, to make some changes and to set your minds free, to open your minds to a new way of doing things. The status quo, it's got to go. They set up those Georgia Guidestones, the infamous they, warning you, death is coming in a big way. So I'm going to throw a couple more cards, okay? Let's see if old Uncle Guido's on the mark, or if I've missed the mark today. Let's throw a card. Aha! Thing of value, the Page of Pentacles. So I want you to look at this. I realize your world, your job, your livelihood may be threatened. But as we can see with the results of this COVID thing, you know, a lot more people are working from home. A lot more people are starting to put little signs out in their yards so that they can continue offering their services. And there are opportunities along the way, as long as you're willing to learn a thing or two, as long as you're willing to put your foot outside the door in a different way, as long as you're willing to let go and let the new be shown to you. So let's ask, how can the average layman out there, the follower of Uncle Guido on YouTube, what can he do to make the best out of all these situations? Turn to your inner philosophy, religion, higher mind, whatever it is that inspires you on a deep level. The hand of God is upon you, trying to give you wisdom. That's why you're listening to Uncle Guido. Ha! Anyway, go within, my friends. Always go within. Try to quiet the monkey mind that's telling you all these fearful thoughts and get to that peace and calm place to where you can hear the still small voice of God that resides within. Go within, my friends. That's the action you can take. And then, when you go in there, I guarantee you, you're going to be inspired by something, and you take it out into the world, and you put one foot in front of the other. For every step you take, the universe is going to take 2 steps to rush up and meet you. If you are clear with being in this modus operandi of new choices, letting go, balancing it out, embracing a more feminine approach as far as love and kindness and less judgment. Okay? And if we do all these sort of things as Uncle Guido prescribes, what will be the outcome, Uncle Guido? What does our future hold? Well, that's still up in the air for right now. That's always a card of let's wait and see. We've got some ideas of different ways we can go. We're getting a lot of different information. We need to kind of sort it out for at least another 1 to 4 months. We need to get through this election. And people, let's try to be more loving, whatever the outcome is. No more rioting. Jeez Louise. Anyway, I'm going to say, what is my higher self's blessing to your higher self? Because I don't like ending on I'll have to wait and see. I want to see what my higher self could say for the last word to you, okay? Oh, the wish card, people, the wish card. It's wide open. And that's God's beautiful gift to you. You have free will to do anything you want. You could go down the dark and scary places and learn all those lessons. You could go into the whatever you choose. It's a clean slate as of right now, but it's waiting for you to create your reality. Don't let others create your reality for you. Come together in consensus and let's figure out some new ways. And on that note, I'm going to throw a final card. And again, the hand of God is upon you. There is new opportunity to recreate this world in harmony with nature. It's not all about the bottom line. It's not all about the possessions. It's not all about how you identify yourself as your career. It's about letting God into your life and going into this physical world and playing with matter. Playing with matter. Then you're going to arrive in the sun. You're going to leave the place better than you found it. You're going to create in a harmony with the higher self. And you're going to move to the next level. The next level is a higher level of being. And only the initiated and those who can balance their karma and look at and atone for their choices are going to make it to this next level. So on that note, old Uncle Guidster here, looking for the off button, saying hasta la pasta. Till next time, Uncle Guido over and out.